You see, every photographer has this dream of shooting on film. And if you disagree, my friend, trust me, you are being a little too practical. But film photography is like that baddie that everybody wants to have in their life, even though it might seem a little impractical and toxic. But in this video, I'll convince you, my friend, with my experience of shooting film for the very first time and how it made me addicted to this process, even though it is very tiring at times. Let's start with the intro. After years of documenting the streets of Jammu on photographs, I finally decided to undertake a project by the name of Jammu in Green, which is a decade-long project in which we will be capturing all the streets, all the heritage sites, and all the different facets of Jammu on the purest form of film. The goal is to capture a decade-long time, so I insist you guys to join me in this venture. Now, here's the thing, my dear friend. The moment I got my first film role, which was CPB F200 Respool, I was thrilled and excited. Any sort of practicality that it costed me 800 rupees and it just has 36 frames went straight out of my head. In that moment, I was just at a complete cloud 7 with this all adrenaline raging through me, telling me, just load the film and walk on this journey. And from Nanak Nagar graveyard, I walked towards Bahu Plaza. And the only thing that I experienced in those 30 minutes just passed like a blip was that anything that appealed to my eye, I'm clicking it. And you see, some people say that when they shoot film for the very first time, they feel this very strange change that they can't chip anymore, they can't see on the screen. They think, what kind of picture came in that frame? But no, my dear friend, for me that was not the case, because in my head I was shooting some nice bangers. Maybe it was just this thought that film would shoot perfectly. Maybe it was this shot that, I am a good photographer. Or maybe it was just a complete high. But anyways, I just kept walking, and within 30 minutes, the film got over. And after that, when I was sitting in the park, no, my dear friend, nothing happened. I was still high, daydreaming about how that role would come out. But here is the thing, my dear friend. This was the romantic part. If you have ever been in a relationship with any narcissistic person, it is a complete same process. You get this first high of romantic euphoria where you were love bombed, and then comes the point of dread. Because at this point, when you hit with heavy realization that in just 30 minutes, you just blasted a complete role that costed you so much that you now have to give for the processing and scanning, for which you have to pay as similar if not more, that dread just hits you. And then you realize at that point, is it possible for me to continue with this process of film? Is it even practical? And here's the thing, my dear friend. Just like in the narcissistic relationship or any kind of addiction, there is this hot and cold, hot and cold. It is the very same thing. But there is something magical about film here, because there is a sort of a dread in first moment. You are like, would I be able to afford this thing? It seems to be a little costly. Because when I was shooting digital, there was no cost. I could shoot a lot and then could come back at my room and just edit those pictures. But now I have to first pay more for the processing and scanning. Oh my god, how would I afford this? How would I wait for this? And did I shoot anything good? And this is the point, my dear friend. All these questions that were running in my head in that moment, they were anticipatory. And in this time is what the very first magic began to happen when I look back in the retrospective hindsight. Because you have to understand, when we shoot on digital, when we're shooting there, we are chipping, looking at the pictures, sort of an examination, and then we move on, take another picture. But here, even though in that moment I wasn't able to think about the frames that I'm taking, but now I was sitting in my room and wondering, did those photographs were taken right? Oh, I have a little memory what I shot. And would it come right? Because here's the thing. You shot a film, but was it actually rolling properly? Did it take on a proper exposure? Was it overexposed, underexposed, properly exposed? Was the framing in the viewfinder right? All these questions wreck you. They keep up at the night time. But eventually, you get the message from the lab that your film has been processed and scanned, and we are sending you the folder. And then the moment I opened the folder, in that moment I realized that those photos were shit. Because all of those photos were completely underexposed. And in that moment my heart sank, and all of a sudden I was feeling as if I've done a certain crime for which I have to pay for this whole month. Because you have to understand, you just shot a whole film roll, and now you're seeing towards some pictures that are not only underexposed, they are filled with a lot of grain. And then you start to ask questions. All these stupid photographers who say that film is the perfect medium, it has a lot of details. Is there any detail? I just shot a 35mm Respool that was meant for motion picture, and there is nothing in it. And then I begin to rationalize it all of a sudden. Just like some person would rationalize the behavior of their narcissistic partner, that maybe I have done something wrong. And maybe I have done something wrong in this process. Because first of all, I was shooting on this Yashica MF2, which is a point and shoot camera with a small lens of 3.5 aperture, a fixed shutter speed. And maybe that could have been the problem, and to a certain point maybe it was. But thankfully, just with a little tweaking on the Lightroom, I began to get a little detail. I could get the exposure right in the post-processing. And now it was time to review those photographs. Now here is the thing, we will start with the most disgusting and the most miserable shots according to me. Beginning with the very first ones, which were completely batshit stupid shot in this rush of adrenaline. These are the shots that are shot on road where there was nothing. Just in distance some ice cream parlor, you are shooting that on a wide angle of 35mm. What is the point? There is no detail, there is no story being told. Because even if you zoom in those photographs, there is nothing, no detail. His face is filled with a lot of grain. And there were many more shots which had a lot of potential, like these three people sitting on a bench romantically. I don't know how three people can sit on a bench romantically, but they were sitting. And I shot from a distance because obviously I'm anxious to shoot people closely. And maybe it is not also practical in a city like Jammu, which is very traditional. You don't want to get beaten by people. So I shot from a distance. And when I'm checking that shot, it is completely filled with grain. You can't even see the faces of those people. So what did I actually shoot in these shots? And there were many other shots in the parks where people were sitting in the distance, but they were completely underexposed or filled with grain. And in that moment, I began to think about it. Would I be able to get something good with these cameras and these films? But here's the thing. Not all hope was lost, because there were some shots which were at least mediocre. Some shots like these when I was entering into the park, and there you see these people coming out of the park in their formal suits. That was a good shot. And there were also some serendipitous shots, just like when I was taking picture of these painters on the roof. And that was an okay shot, a decent one. But then eventually that painter comes in the front of the roof and asks me to take another shot. And that one, the second one, which was serendipitous, just literally slapped. That was one of my favorite shots. Because in there, he's standing as a silhouette, behind him a lot of clouds with a little opening of the sky. That was the hope. That was the ray of hope that got me once back in the motion. And then eventually I began to think not all is lost, because there are some photographs, and maybe I have to look further beyond all the self criticism and all the doubt and see for any shots that are actually good, that are some keepers. And then I realized yes, there are shots, especially the shots that were taken in the blink of an eye when I caught a certain moment, like these two women who were walking across the road. And when they are walking, there is this huge, beautiful landscape with a wide open road, them walking in the center, and just a wide open sky. That was an amazing shot because they were in these traditional apparels. The whole white city there, that literally snapped. And then after that, a little ahead while walking towards Bahu Plaza, I just saw this image of a gate on my right side where this person was asking for money with this fist like this. Oh my god, that shot, it is my favorite from that role. Like the most candid shots among those shots. And these were the certain glimmer of hope. But there were also certain shots that had a lot of potential, but they were badly underexposed. Like this one shot where in the park there was this shed and one person was laying there and another was sitting in the right corner. It was an amazing shot, but it was so much underexposed that even when I exposed it, all the details were crushed. And maybe that is the thing, and maybe that is the lesson, that I can enjoy film photography, but there are certain things that I have to keep in mind. But before we reach those things, let's understand this one harsh lesson that I learned in that photography process. See, it's not that the film is costly in itself that should make you aware of the fact. But you have to consider and understand that film makes you a good photographer, no doubt, and I will explain you with this analogy. Consider that you have to go in a jungle and hunt 10 lions. In one case, you are given a complete automatic rifle, an AK-47, filled with an extended rolling drum that has 500 bullets in it. And on the other hand, you are given a shotgun with 15 bullets. Now let me explain the difference here. That AK-47 with 500 bullets would give you a very strange confidence that, oh, I can easily hunt these animals. You'll just spray and pray. I think you're getting where I'm going right there. That is a digital camera. You can shoot as much and hope that you'll find a good photograph. There is no intentionality about is the composition right. You might be like bursting all the photographs and something would come out. But the question is, did you really compose the shot? Did you really capture that moment with this thought that, oh, that is the line there? And maybe that is the thing, because here when you have these 15 shots, these 15 bullets, and you know there are lines out there, and the moment you waste 5 bullets and 10 lines are still out there, in that moment, the hunting skills that would come out of you would be amazing. And maybe that is the reason, because in that first role, I was just like this crazy guy with an automatic rifle. But just after that first role ended, it hit me with a heavy dread. That dude, it costs a lot, not only for the film but the processing as well. Maybe you should be a little more intentional with each and every shot. And from the time I shot the second roll and the third roll and the fourth roll, dude, in those moments, now, I'm not saying all the shots in the future got amazing, about which the BTS vlogs would be coming soon. But believe me, guys, in those journeys, in those photo walks, I was so much intentional that I was going to take certain photographs, and in the middle I stopped and I was like, not that one. I don't think that is worth taking a shot. It is this process which has all the highs and lows and highs and lows and self-doubt that keeps you hooked with photography. And when you're so much hooked with that photography, look, I've seen people justifying digital in this way, that when you start shooting on film, you get in this thought that, okay, I can't go that much out there because film is costly. Obviously, it is costly. But I want to say in defense of film that now I have a completely different psychology towards photography. Even though I can go out less, which I used to go out less before with the digital camera as well, but now when I'm going out there, I'm not just going out there. I have recently gone to police station for certain cases, but recently I have started pre-planning, taking notes, planning the road trips and everything out there, because I just can't be like that person who simply thinks I can go out and spray and pray and nothing would happen. If anything happens, I can delete the shot. If it's not worthy, I can delete the shot. Or I can process in post and do all the things in post. No. And as far as I can see, maybe that is the best thing, to shoot in the purest form and make yourself a better photographer and fall in love with the process in a way where you are constantly thinking about the process. Because trust me, dude, either you're out there shooting, or you're still thinking about the roll that is getting processed, or you're still waiting to get that mail that the film has been scanned, or you're just sitting on computer checking those shots, inspecting those shots, and actively learning through those shots, either in anticipation or in front of the screen. Apart from this process, there is nothing else. There is no gap, because it is a addictive, maybe a little toxic process, but it would teach you something. So this was the video. Very soon, and because hey, it's a point and shoot, we got a little professional one, a range finder, and a lot of BTS vlogs of recent shots, recent photo walks. So hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Share your thoughts in the comment section, and hit the subscribe button for more photo walks, videos on photography, especially on film. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, enjoy your life in the best possible ways. Shoot more, and peace.